So once you get your domain name purchased, oftentimes GoDaddy will try to get you to design using their site builder. I personally don't like to use that tool, and so I just go right to the domain name and change out the DNS servers. So this is a critical step in the design. If you don't already know what your domain name servers are, then you would have to go set up your hosting somewhere. I personally am a reseller for domain hosting, and that makes it easy because I have control over my server. But for now, we're going to go ahead and just set up the DNS hosting on GoDaddy for my servers. Whenever you get in here to GoDaddy, something that's important is this customer number. If you ever do need support with GoDaddy, they're excellent. I love calling them. They'll help you with stuff. They can even help you with this DNS settings. If you're like, hey, I took this tutorial, I don't feel like going back in there, they can help you with your DNS settings. They usually do want to know your customer number and your PIN number, which is going to be right there. So I go here to My Products and scroll down here to my domain name, and I click on DNS. So I have this goldengorillabakery.com. If I wanted to change the privacy, like I purchased it and I want to change the privacy, go right there and do that. I click on DNS, and all this information that's right here in the middle of the screen, these records, you don't have to change any of that right there. That can get overwhelming. Just ignore that. Scroll down here to these name servers and click change. Now, it always wants to try to help me, but I want to say enter my own name servers, and it says advanced down there. So I'm going to go back on that. When I click change, you'll notice it says connect my domain to a website I've built. Don't click that. Click on this enter my own domain name servers. Mine are just ns1.eddierenz.com, ns2.eddierenz.com. So I click save. Simple. Now, sometimes people don't understand the difference between setting up a domain name and setting up hosting. A domain name is just purchasing a name. Hosting is kind of like, I bought this car and this is where I'm going to park it in my garage. And then the hosting and all that and the speed and all that bandwidth is like driving your car on roads and people driving back and forth to access your website. So that is all important. You want good website speed. We'll get to that later. Also, something that is important whenever you're setting up your domain name servers is sometimes it takes a few minutes for them to replicate, so it might not show that they're in there right away, but they normally are. If they don't change, then go back, and if they still don't change after an hour, call GoDaddy. They might tell you that it takes 24 hours for DNS settings to replicate, but they almost never do. Usually it's pretty instantaneous. So now that we've set up the domain name and the hosting, now it's time to go and set up, I'm going to go to the server side and set up the hosting on that side. So if you decide that you want to become a web designer, which is what this course will teach you to become, you can use this for a business, starting up a business fast, but you can literally do what I do. Then you would have a reseller account. The great thing about a hosting reseller account is I get paid $10 a month or a monthly fee for web hosting. And so my client, iTeach, is one of my larger clients, and they have a lot of bandwidth usage, and so they pay a larger fee per month for hosting. What's great about that is it's recurring revenue, and passive income is the great way to grow your business. And the great thing about hosting is once somebody sets up their website with you, it's really rare that people change their hosting. It's a hassle. If you're giving them great service, there's no reason for them to change. And it's a great way for you to make recurring revenue. And you can start small. It's like, okay, I have 10 clients. I'm charging them $15 a month for hosting. It's $150 a month recurring revenue. So it's a great way to start making money. So I'm going to log into my hosting server. And this is what the backend dashboard looks like. You have a list of, things that you can do. Right now, for sake of time, this is going to be a fast course. We're just going to go create a new account. So this tells me a lot of information that for this course you don't need to know. So we're going to go to www.goldengorillabakery.com. The usernames on these, I believe, can only be 8 characters long. So I will just put in Gorilla, and then I will tell it to, I'm not gonna use that strong password because I can never remember those. I'm gonna put in my own. And then once you set up this username, password, information, then you'll choose a package. Whenever you're a reseller for hosting, you can create different levels of packages. And so somebody could be getting 50 gigabytes of bandwidth per month, or 100 gigabytes, or even 1,000. And you can charge them more based on those packages. So I have multiple here. I'm gonna choose just this Edo 7 2000, and that should be 2 gigs of data per month, which is not a lot, but it's enough for a very small startup business or somebody that's basically using their site as a landing page or a brochure. If they're getting a ton of traffic, then they're probably gonna need more bandwidth than that. So I click create, and it's gonna create the account. And I really like using Evernote for my customers whenever I create something for them, because I'm going to be creating a color palette, because I'm going to be purchasing different things for them. I try to put it all inside one simple note. And so whenever I've gotten this web domain or this website set up, I take this new account info and I just copy it, because I often think that I'm gonna remember a username, but I set up so many accounts that I forget a lot. So I open up Evernote, and then I just type in Golden Gorilla Bakery. And then I copy that information in there. That way I have it. But I immediately create the WordPress, and I do all of this using the same password. That way I don't have to remember multiple passwords. So whatever I use for WordPress, I use in the back end. Some people might want to change that up because of security. My passwords are very difficult to, there's a lot of different characters in them, so they'd be hard to guess. But it makes it easier for me whenever I'm working, just to be able to just blaze through like, oh, this is this account. So that's how you set up the hosting. Quick and easy process.